This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. The U.S. wants to ban connected car tech from Chinese companies. Reuters reports that in the coming weeks, the Commerce Department is expected to propose a rule that will ban Level 3 and above autonomous vehicles that use Chinese software, as well as connected cars that use Chinese-developed wireless communication devices. It says it's concerned about the national security risk the technology might pose and will require automakers and suppliers to verify that none of their stuff is made with a foreign entity of concern like China. Tesla has faced similar claims in China that its tech poses a national security risk, which resulted in restriction from military bases, government agencies, and even cultural and exhibition centers. And it's only been recently that authorities have started to come around on Tesla's tech. It's been testing FSD in the US for years, but finally looks like it's on a path for approval in China. The expected ban on Chinese software and tech in the US comes right on the heels of a new 100% import tariff on Chinese EVs. Chinese authorities are already pushing back on those tariffs, so it will likely do the same if its software and tech is also banned. While the U.S. says it's concerned about the national security risks, a move like this will also give automakers and suppliers a chance to catch up to China in those areas. Oak Ridge National Lab, which is funded by the Department of Energy, has made some really impressive improvements to wireless car charging. Existing wireless chargers are quite inefficient, with peak rates somewhere around 50 kilowatts, but many rarely go over 11 kilowatts, which is less than some home EV chargers. But Oak Ridge National Lab developed a way to rotate the magnetic fields between the pickup coils that are mounted on the car and the charging mat, which are just under 5 inches or nearly 13 centimeters apart. In 2016, it was able to achieve a charging rate of 20 kilowatts. Last year, it bumped that all the way up to 120 kilowatts, and then it just completed a test recently at 270 kilowatts. On top of that, it says based on a per kilowatt weight, it's also the most lightweight charging system in the world. The car used in the most recent test was a Porsche Taycan, and Oak Ridge and VW say they'll continue to develop the wireless charging system. Speaking of EV charging, Samsung has some pretty impressive claims for its EV-specific solid-state oxide battery. It says they'll have a 20-year lifespan, will recharge in just 9 minutes, and have an energy density of around 500 watt-hours per kilogram, which is double some of today's EVs and could provide a range of about 600 miles or 965 kilometers. However, mass production is still several years away and will need much more powerful chargers than we have today to charge an EV in only 9 minutes. But for those of you who still love piston power, AC Cars, the oldest active British car maker, which was founded in 1901, is coming out with a production hardtop version of the AC Cobra for the first time ever. It's built on the same platform as the existing AC Cobra GT Roadster and wears a similar front-end design, but the rear of the car was inspired by the AC A98 Coupe Le Mans race car from 1964. Initially, it will be limited to 99 examples. Those cars feature a specially tuned supercharged V8 that makes nearly 800 horsepower and will cost £325,000 or over $415,000. But it also plans to make 2 other versions, one with a naturally aspirated V8 that makes 450 horsepower and another with a supercharged V8 that makes 720 horsepower. Orders are open right now.
There's nothing wrong with heavy metal.
Hey, lighten up.
But with world-class composite material, Teijin Automotive Technologies makes vehicles lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly.
BYD set a sales record in July, and it was its plug-in hybrids that fueled that growth. The automakers sold more than 340,000 vehicles last month, which is a 30% increase from a year ago. Its PHEV sales were up 67% to about 210,800 units, but its BEV sales of 130,000 units was down 3.5% compared to last year. Its overseas sales are still relatively small at 30,000 vehicles, but it's expanding quickly in Europe, and last week it was reported that the company plans to enter the Canadian market. Through July, BYD has sold more than 1.9 million vehicles, up about 30% from a year ago. And while BYD's BEV sales slipped, Tesla's made-in-China sales bounced back in July. According to the China Passenger Car Association, Tesla sold more than 74,000 China-made vehicles last month, a 15% gain from a year ago. However, Tesla's sales are down overall this year. Through July, Tesla has sold more than 500,000 made-in-China vehicles, which is down 7% from last year. As we said earlier in the show, it looks like Tesla is finally getting approval for FSD in China, and Mercedes is also making progress with its autonomous vehicle development in the country. The automaker announced it's the first foreign automaker to receive approval to test Level 4 self-driving vehicles on roads in Beijing. It will use 2 S-Class sedans for the tests, which are equipped with LiDAR, radar, and cameras. Mercedes' autonomous development is moving quickly in China. It first started tests in closed environments in 2021 so it could adapt its system to China's roads. At the end of last year, it received approval to conduct Level 3 autonomous tests, and now it has approval for Level 4. The slowdown in the EV market is going to continue, according to chipmaker Infineon. The CEO of the company said that a recovery in EV sales is, quote, not yet in sight, and that the slump in EV sales was partly responsible for a 10% drop in revenue in its recent quarter. And because of that decline, the company is laying off 1,400 workers. Part of its problem is that Infineon has become more and more dependent on the auto industry for its sales. Its automotive business brought in more than 2 billion euros in revenue last quarter, which is more than half of its overall revenue. And Infineon isn't the only chip maker that's struggling. Intel is planning to cut 15,000 jobs worldwide in order to slash costs. Intel is a major supplier of semiconductors to the auto industry, with its chips in more than 50 million vehicles. Currently, 18 automakers use its chips for EVs and software, so any disruptions to the supply could have a big impact on automakers. But that's it for today's show. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering boost your game. MEDC, where Michigan businesses are powering the future of mobility. And by Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility.
Intrepid's NeoVi Pi, allowing automotive engineers to interface, capture, and monitor vehicle data using Raspberry Pi. As a matter of fact, it's the automotive industry's first robust platform for Raspberry Pi, featuring Intrepid CAN-FD technology and Raspberry Pi Compute Module. The NeoVi Pi is designed for automotive environments, allowing use with relative power ranges and applications. In addition, the NeoVi Pi enables you to use the Raspberry Pi for compute while avoiding additional development to adapt to network environments. That makes the NeoVi Pi powerful enough to solve your vehicle network problems, yet small enough to fit in your backpack. One of many Intrepid tools used for developing zonal architecture and software-defined vehicles.
Trusting tires designed for the long haul. Because you'll always go the distance. For friends. That's what really matters. Bridgestone Alenza tires with an 80,000-mile limited warranty.
Michigan is leading the charge in mobility and innovation and I can't think of a better state to be in.